You found a place to belong here in the circle of friends. I'm Missy in the studio today with my good friend Angie. And Angie, you have a special guest with you today.
I do. I'm actually very excited to introduce Mary Connealy. She is basically, you could call her a humorous historical fiction author, and she's with Barber Publishing. How are you doing today, Mary?
Just fine. It's really nice to be here.
Thanks.
We are so excited to have you, Mary. I'm thrilled. Of course,
Thank you.
love books and love authors, and just the chance to have you here is a real treat for me. So thanks for being with us and hanging out with us. I know our listeners are really going to enjoy getting to know you. Now, you are from a place that kind of interests me as well, Nebraska.
I'm a long way from home here. in
Yes,
Ohio.
you are.
Mary actually just finished up a book signing tour in Ohio, and we had her come out to do some events with us here at Barber Publishing and just to do some book signings in the area. And she agreed to come on to talk with Circle of Friends today and just kind of talk to your listeners a little bit about what it's like to be an author and, to give us a little bit of advice and insight into her next book series. So
That is great. And Mary, maybe we can just start asking you questions. Now, you write historical fiction, and Angie, you said a historical humorist. Was that the words you used?
I love to read Mary's historical fiction novels because she puts a touch of humorous. She calls it romantic comedy with cowboys, is what Mary likes to call it. And so she adds a humorous element to it, which takes a little bit of working on it, she says, to add some of that humor to her novels. But
I love to read. I love to read suspense, and I love to read romance, and I love to read humor. And I try to have all three of those things in my book. So I always say if they're falling in love and sassing each other while they're running for their lives, then I'm happy.
And then you've
my
got
goal.
all three.
That's right.
Oh, very
So
good.
that's what I love to read, and so that's what I love to write.
So how did you get started writing, Mary?
You know, when I look back on it and see that I sat there and wrote all those years without publishing a book, I really don't know what I was thinking. You know, what in the world was going on in my head that I thought that was a good idea. But I wrote for 10 years before I got my first book published. And when Barber Publishing bought my first book, I had 20 finished books on my computer. And I'm not sure if that's like a testimony to hard work and perseverance, or if it's more like obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm not sure which it is.
Well, now, was it difficult for you to, because some writers they write, but then to take that next step into publication can sometimes be
Very hard work. And I really started before the whole world got so connected with the internet. You know, I had a computer, but I didn't have the internet. I didn't know there were organizations that, writers groups. And it just was a long, slow process finding places to go to learn writing skills. I always thought I had the right temperament. I loved sitting there doing it, but the craft of it was this long, hard road to figure it out. And I finally figured out there were writers' conferences and critique groups, and I could learn the skills I needed to do it well, and found Barber Publishing and found somebody who would actually sell one of my books. So that was
is
great.
so exciting. And now, Angie, explain your role in all of this.
Well, I'm actually Mary's publicist. So I work at Barber Publishing as a publicist, and I work with the authors and send out press releases and help to promote their books. And it's been really fun for me to have Mary here because I get to follow her around to all of her book signings, and just it adds a whole new element to that. So while I'm promoting her books, I get to know a little bit more about her and what she writes and why she writes what she does. And I really enjoy that inside look at why be an author? Why write the way that you do? And Mary's really good at showing me that.
Well, I think, too, that it's interesting as a reader, and I'm sure our listeners maybe can connect with this a little bit, but you pick up a book, you look at it, and you read an author, and then you kind of take a little bit of ownership in that author, if you will. You like their writing, but then you want to know more about the author themselves. Just like you said, Angie, why do you write the way you do? So I am really excited to have Mary here and kind of get some insights into that and just to get to know her personally a little bit. We're going to be talking about this, but first we're going to listen to some music, and come on back. You won't want to miss this. You found a place to belong here in the Circle of Friends.